1, 2, 3.
Kate Mila Falls, you're very welcome along to the Brian and Ciaran Warfield podcast, the ramblings of two Irish balladeers, featuring Brian Warfield of the fierce and mighty Wolfetones, and his son Ciaran, that's me, of the band Catalpa, and also of the Bandwagon Bus, Dublin's only musical ballad tour on wheels. So sit back, relax, grab a tea, coffee, beer or wine, or whatever takes your fancy, as we go rambling through life's misty foggy dew, through stories, songs, history, politics, life on the road, and just a general bit of crack.
Myself in man's attire and fight for liberty. We are the boys of Wexford, who fought with heart and hand to burst and twine the galling chain and free our native land. I want no gold, my maiden fair, to fly from home with thee. Your smiling eyes shall be my prize, more dear than gold to me. I want no gold to nerve my arm, to do a true man's part. To free my native land, I'll give the red drops of my heart. We are the boys of Wexford, who fought with heart and hand to burst and twine the galling chain and free our native land. And when we left our cabins, boys, we left with right goodwill to see our friends and neighbours who were at Vinegar Hill. A young man from our ranks, a cannon he let go and slammed it into Lord Mountjoy, a tyrant he laid low. We are the boys of Wexford, who fought with heart and hand to burst and twine the galling chain and free our native land. And Lord's name shall be their shame, the steel we ne'er did fear. And every man could do his part, like Ford and Shelmalier. And if for want of leaders we lost at Vinegar Hill, we're ready for another fight and love our country still. We are the boys of Wexford, who fought with heart and hand to burst and twine the galling chain and free our native land.
Yes, that's track number 14 off the Foggy Dew album, the Wolfetones, 1965.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, that welcome all to the next podcast. And about that, the Boys of Wexford was a track. And the interesting thing about that is the first track I ever played the banjo on. And it was an old zither banjo that I got somewhere or another. I bought it for little or nothing, strung it up and started to play it, and that was the first recording ever with a banjo.
Not a bad bit of banjo playing, in fairness. For a
I
chance.
learned it in a week.
So, the Boys of Wexford obviously commemorates the rebellion of 1798. Was written by, the lyrics and the music were written by two different people. But also composed Bula Vogue and Kelly the Boy from Killan.
Two great songs,
Yeah.
three great songs, should I say. But and also that was the favourite song of the Kennedy family.
Yeah.
And John F. Kennedy mentioned it when he came on a visit to Ireland.
Yeah. They asked him, did he want another tune? He said, yeah, another verse of the Boys of Wexford.
Very proud of his Wexford heritage.
Yeah. And it's also played in the Isle of Man, and the tune is known as You Spay Irma Galen, or The Pick on Me Shoulder.
Yeah, never heard that one.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Something new every day. So tonight we're delighted to be joined by Brian's brother Bernard and my uncle.
How are you?
And my cousin Neil.
Hi, how are you?
And we're going to play in with a song called Bernard?
We're doing
The Beggin' Ass.
Beggin' Ass, yeah. Oh, I'll explain to you afterwards.
Beggin' Ass.
Well, solved.
So here you go. This is Paddy's Dream and the Beggin' Ass.
I walk the streets of Dublin, round Joyce's way. I called the Liberty Bell and had a cup of tea. I drank the brazen head dry and lived to tell the tale. Then I put me shoes on and tramped upon me way. I'm a well-known man throughout the land, I like a begging ass. I do a job just far above and I'm happy while at last. So when they see me coming, they lock up all their doors. Some other day invite me in to tell a tale of woe. The Shelbourne or the Royal Hotel, they never put me up. But the local Garda station, they never see me stuck. I'm a well-known man throughout the land, I like a begging ass. I do a job just for above and I'm happy while it lasts. I have no home nor castle, I have no fixed abode. Where'er I lay me hat down, it's there I call my home. From Belfast town to Wexford, from Clare to Derry Square, I'm known as the Beggin' Ass, you're sure to find me there. I'm a well-known man throughout the land, I'm like the Beggin' Ass. I do a job just for above, and I'm happy while it lasts. On me way to Kerry, when he stops upon the way, I'll stop at 13 Nellies, maybe spend another day. The Galway races on the Carpin, a lady in the square. It's off the Cork, the Taylor's house, and Annesty's there. I'm a well-known man throughout the land, and like the Beggin' Ass. I do a job just for above, and I'm happily while it lasts. I'm a well-known man throughout the land, and like the Beggin' Ass. I do a job just for above, and I'm happily while it lasts.
I think there's a lot of talent there in the Warfield family.
Sorry, I've always been mistaken for the Wolfetone.
Oh, you get that
right through my life. My shadow has been the Wolfetone.
There you go. Well, it's very talented shadow.
Yeah. Oh well, no, it worked in my favour a lot of times, and yes, well, I was very proud of the lads anyway. Yeah. But the song itself. Beggin' Ass, I don't know if I've explained it before. It's a song I wrote about, I don't know if anybody remembers, Brian might remember, when somebody was kind of a begging man, and he was like a begging ass. He was a bit of a...
He was as well known as a begging ass.
Exactly, that was the old saying. So it was on that saying that I wrote the song in about 84, I think it was.
Wow.
And,
good song.
And it takes us on a trip from right down Galway. He goes to the races, all the places where a travelling man like the Beggin' Ass would go to.
Yeah, yeah.
And he ends up in Cork, you know.
Yeah.
But it always reminded me of the Wolfetone's tour in the summertime.
Yeah.
They went to Limerick and then into Galway. Yeah. Cork and
Killarney,
and all that. And all those things were in my mind when I wrote that song, and I was remembering. Well, and that's the way it turned out. I thought it was quite good anyway.
Ah, that's a great song.
It's a great sound.
It's very catchy.
Yeah,
very catchy. Yeah.
And so with Paddy's Dream, give us a bit of background of Paddy's Dream. A lot of people
Paddy's Dream.
The younger people in...
Well, Paddy's Dream was preceded. Our other groups preceded Paddy's Dream.
Okay, give us the history of Bernard Warfield.
Yeah, that's it. No. Well, I started off with a couple of boys from Bluebell.
Yeah.
As Brian did.
Yeah.
And Ollie Nolan and
that's right. I remember
Frankie McHugh, who was from Drimna actually.
Yeah.
And Frankie McHugh and Joe Maguire.
Yeah, Joe Maguire. Yeah.
And that was it at the start. Myself, and we played up in the GA club in Clondalkin. Yeah, and then Noel was on
another brother.
Another brother. He was at a loose end, and we invited him into the band. So that's how it all started for us. And we call ourselves the Round Tower Folk, which is we thought was a great name because we spent half of the time in Clondalkin.
Sorry.
The Round Towers, wasn't it?
Was that
the Round Tower Folk? Yeah.
Was that after the Round Tower Club or the Round Tower?
The Round Tower itself. Yeah, we weren't really. Although we played in GA Club, and Brian also did one of our first gigs down there.
Absolutely, we play anywhere. Anywhere we got a shekel.
Right. But and then that led to going to the Roads of Tralee, and we followed in the footsteps of the Wolfetones, and we represented a pub down there in the pubs competition.
The tavern, was it?
No, I can't remember. Something tavern.
Yeah, the tavern.
Yeah, and we came second, and I think the Emma's Spice Land beat us to the top.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's the way. And then we went on and lack of interest in a lot of things. People started leaving. So I gave it up for a while, but I got married and all of that, and family life was taking its toll. So, yeah. And the next band came along, which was Hatch.
Hatch, yeah.
And that took us off to the first time I went to America in '86. And then from there, it took us to. I left the other band that broke up, and I formed Paddy's Dream. And also Colin Bourne came to America with us that year. Yeah. We hadn't got a full lineup. That's Tommy's brother.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
I
remember him.
He died since, God Lord mercy him. And from there we travelled. What was our next move? Our next move was who was next?
What year are you at now?
What
year?
What next? No, the bands I'm going by. What next band? Oh yeah, I was with Martin Heffernan and Mickey Martin, and that eventually finished up, and I formed Paddy's Dream, and Kevin Kelly, and Frank Mulligan, three of us.
Yeah.
And that's what you see and hear on the album.
Yeah.
Is Frank and Kevin.
Yeah.
Are you going to play another track?
Well, I'm going to play it with two of your tracks, which is we play it with the Boys of Barr and Sraide, a good Kerry song. And
so keep the questions coming.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, I'll keep them coming.
Yeah. Was that the end of the career there? Was Paddy Dreams, or did you move on? Or I know you've done a lot of things like community things and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we did. We were all in early years. We were all in the civil defence.
Right.
And party time in the civil defence.
Right.
And meeting the girls and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And all of that thing kind of takes up your time.
Yeah.
And enjoying yourself.
And you had a day job, of course, as well.
Of course, yes.
Without it, you'd be a pauper.
He never gave it up.
Starving.
When you did your first tour of America, did you just do the East Coast or did you do...
Oh, no. I mean, New York.
Oh, New York, right. Okay, so you just stayed around New York. Yeah, but that must have been exciting. Like, I remember the first time that I went to play music around...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were, 4 weeks... 5 weeks, 4 weeks probably.
Yeah. For 4 weeks over
in
there?
New York, in the Glockamora pub.
All right.
Yeah.
So you were doing a residency, you saw the mini residency.
You remember the guy, I'm
I
sure.
do, of course, yeah.
And
That's
we
when
had,
all the police used to hang out in that pub.
that's it.
Yeah.
The first time we
The New York
walked in,
cops.
we walked in after coming from the airport, and the police came over to us and say, "What are you doing here?" And we all looked at each other and said, "We're immigration. Have you got an immigration pass?" And we all looked at each other.
We're caught.
Said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Oh, we're playing music. And are you getting paid for this?" I said, "Oh, no.
You're a good liar.
All looking at the floor.
So, you know the guy, I think, Brian knows him.
I had terrible development altogether. They're always... Sure, we were arrested many times and brought to prison and all. And we only let out of prison if we sang the streets of New York.
But
There were messers.
yeah, that ended the trip to New York for the first time. We had several trips to, of course, we ended up going to Scotland for a long time.
Yeah.
We actually did 10 years going to Dundee for New Year's Eve.
Yeah. I remember you
So
telling me
that was
stories about that. Did some good stories.
Yeah, that was that's another
Father
story,
Eugene.
as you say. Yeah.
But there you go. They're the things that keep people entertained all over the world.
Yeah.
Are there many, many bands from Ireland that go across the world that mainly at their own expense and maybe get a couple of drinks at few bob, but they bring the culture of Ireland right around the world, and they should be celebrated in many, many ways.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways they're forgotten.
Yeah.
And another thing, not only did we do our business for Ireland, but all the songs that we sang, other people's songs,
Yeah.
and Brian's songs, we did everybody's songs, and they became popular through us as well.
Yeah.
And they have us to thank for all that.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was done, wasn't it, across the world? Because groups that took the music to America, Australia, wherever they went, that's what popularised it.
Yeah.
Because
It's a small band.
groups like the Wolfetones or whatever couldn't be there all the time, so it's the other groups that kept it going.
It was the only live way of spreading it, I suppose.
Yeah. So let's celebrate all the great groups and all the ballad groups that probably the unknown soldiers of the ballad game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Include myself in that.
Well, include yourself in that, because you...
Let's get the government to give them a huge big pension. a balladier's pension.
The tourist board.
They might send us the tax bill.
It's counterproductive.
We did it all. We do it all for free. It's purely for the love of music.
Yeah, I never got paid for any of it.
Yeah.
I say that over there
Yeah, of course. At your own expense.
at my own expense.
You went to Italia in 1990, of course, as well.
Oh, that was the big one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was that?
and actually, we didn't get paid for that.
But you didn't need to be paid, in fairness. You're getting brought all the way over.
Well, it was a dream gig,
Yeah, I can imagine.
and of course that happened in 1990. You don't have to remember that.
Yeah.
But the Italia 90 started its life up in, we were playing in Drogheda one night.
Yeah.
And I met this guy, as you do, in the bar. And his name was Crossan.
Yeah.
And they run the
Crossan, was it?
fun track. They did the holidays overland.
I went to Germany with him.
Yeah. School tour.
And he came up, we were talking, you know. And he said, we were talking about, he said, we have a couple of 100 people going all at once. They have an extra long train and all that.
Yeah.
He's telling me all about it. So I said, I'm going to need entertainment.
Yeah.
And he agreed. So he said, there's my number. Give me a ring when I get back to Dublin. They were there on O'Connell Street. And Colin Crossan is his name. And if he's listening through anything, hello, Colin. It's absolutely years since I've seen him.
I don't think Fun Track's going anymore, but I think
Does he owe you money?
Yeah,
No, he doesn't.
He got paid. Oh, the
we went to Germany in '88 with Fun Track. We camped down by the River Neckar. It was the most because I was only 18, like, you know, of course, and just
Euro '88.
But the first time football trip away, like, and just had great crack. Like, the thing was, when we arrived with Fun Track, you had to put up your tent, like, you know. But when we arrived into Heidelberg, where we were staying, it was lashing rain. Yeah. And they've sent us to McDonald's. Like, this was about 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know, sent us to McDonald's. Of course, we went to McDonald's, and then looking down through the menu, you could get beer. Yes, I'll have a Big Mac meal and a beer, please.
I'll have a beer.
10 beers.
So
and
just
something.
Just to ask Neil, what do you feel now about all your famous uncles and dad and all your great musical cousins?
Well, it's great to have a musical cousin, Ciaran.
Great memories of Cork.
Yeah. My earliest memory of the Wolfetones playing is probably Sheemsa in Cork.
Oh, great times.
They were brilliant. Like, they were, I would assume, probably the best gigs in Ireland at the time.
They were,
It was the one that everyone wanted to go to, band-wise, and then the support. I've never seen it like, you know.
Yeah.
I remember Grandad bringing us down.
On the train?
Yeah, on the train, yeah. 1985, I'd say, maybe 84. I still have the ticket. And Cahill, our cousin, and Deirdre, Grandad brought us down. And it was great. We were going down. I would have been about 12, 13. And then Cahill and Deirdre 2 years younger. So it was mad at that age, going down there and then standing backstage and just seeing the huge crowd. And
who was the headliner?
Good crack, wasn't it?
We went 2 years. 1 year was John Denver, and then Chris Christopherson.
Oh, so two big.
And then there was another time we went. U2 had played the day before.
Yeah.
And they were
Status Quo and
Status Quo. Yeah,
Pogues.
That was '86, I think.
Yeah.
But that was a great one because.
No, that was '87.
Was it?
Yeah, because me and Pierce went down to the U2 gig the day before.
The day before, yeah.
So it was absolutely hammered.
Me and Cahill were there, and we were backstage while the Wolfetones were playing, and Shane McGowan was there.
Yeah,
and
I remember that, yeah.
He was in his usual format.
Hammered.
and I suppose you were watching his teeth. Because everybody
we were terrified.
Why did he get his teeth fixed?
I remember.
But he's a lovely man.
Oh, yeah. But I remember Cahill, the two of us were just standing there listening to Wolfetones. And as you know, Cahill he's a huge fan, still is. And Shane McGowan was there. And I was collecting autographs. And I asked him for an autograph. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll do better than that. And he handed me a bottle of whiskey. And I was like... And then...
and you drank it all.
Oh, yeah, every drop. But he gave Cahill a big cowboy hat, and that was much better at that time. I was like, I want
better than the whiskey.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with
I don't know. I think Grandad took the whiskey off. I never saw it again. But that was a great memory there, and just the huge crowds, and it always seemed to have great weather, and just the open air.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
It's really
them
good.
kind of gigs lent the family to get involved in all the things that was going on. Because my aunt came home from England for a holiday, and we were playing up in Johnny Fox's. So we brought them all up there, and they had a ball.
Yeah, Johnny Fox's were great. They were great gigs.
And we did them outdoors, and it was fantastic. Some great gigs.
Yeah, they're probably my strongest memory.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That's how.
Well, they're the things that supplying great entertainment for the Irish, for tourists coming here.
Yeah.
And it's groups like yours and many, many other groups who gave their time and poorly paid, if any, and they entertain people while over here with unique Irish entertainment.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
And I believe, I don't know, but it's my own little belief, that we played Irish music for the Dublin School of English going back to early 80s, and we only finished doing that gig about 5 years ago. So how many years is that?
It's a lot.
So,
I'll take my shoes off for that.
And what that was, we gave them the words of the songs, and they sang along with the songs. Then we had dancers on. Now this was way before Riverdance or anything like that. Yeah. And so you can see where all these ideas would come from. People looking at this and saying, yes, we'll do that. Because the dance group that we used to use, they were very, very good, a very good teacher. I think it was Maureen Downey, and she had them doing all sorts of interactions. So it really was going way before the river dances and things like that. So, these things grow from little entertainment pockets here and there.
Yeah. You got involved with the Liberties community there for a while, and I know you did some unique work down there. And can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I can indeed. I was actually 14 years down there.
Wow.
And we had a heritage, what do you call it? What's the word? Had a heritage group.
Yeah.
And it was a project. I used to run the projects, and I'd have them researching different things. And we put on a display. And our display has got so well known and pretty good, even if you say so myself. They used to make the City Hall, and they'd put them on in the City Hall.
Yeah.
And what they were pictorial boards that we put up every year and tell the story of a particular thing in Dublin or about Dublin. And in one particular one, I'm going to leave you a film of it to show you afterwards. But it's about 1913, about the
lockout.
The lockout, now that. But it's left with all the things, 1913, excuse me.
But they were great projects and good historic projects for the community around that area. And let's put it, as a great project as much that involved all the local people.
That's right.
In educating them, in them researching and doing everything regarding the history of their town.
The success is told in the fact that there's three girls in Guinness's now doing tours that would never have been dreamt of getting in there. And other people as well. And there's one girl who was written Liz Gillis. Not Liz. Yeah, Liz Gillis. I can't remember the name. But she wrote a few books, and she's now a tour guide in Corkman jail.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic.
that all stemmed from the project.
Of creating
Not
an
me in
interest, yeah.
particular, but through the project.
Yeah, but you were not.
And we helped them along, of course. And
Yeah,
I
very modest, Bernard, wasn't it?
For once.
Yeah, only for you.
I actually watched you the other night. Myself, Katrina, you were doing the Finding the Moses on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
yeah,
And I thought someone was with you. You were doing Zosimus, obviously.
that's right. Yeah.
Am I standing in? I'm standing.
I'm standing in the puddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant piece of. I really enjoyed it. Like, we were just came across it. On
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah, I think back and doing those things.
So if anybody wants, just look up the Finding the Moses on YouTube, Bernard Warfield, and you'll see it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But thank you. Take it as a compliment. But
It is a compliment,
no,
yeah.
that's,
He's from a very talented family, you know.
Is he? I wouldn't know.
But and just to finish off on that.
Yeah.
That was very good for me. It was what I wanted to do always.
Yeah.
Is something like that,
Yeah.
and to help people along in getting a job, or even coming to the project itself was doing something for their mental ability, everything.
And unfortunately, they stopped the funding of it, wasn't it?
They closed our St. Nicholas Salmara Heritage Project, it's called, and they closed it and opened up a centre for sleepless
Homeless people.
Homeless.
Oh, yeah, for the homeless.
For the homeless.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mind.
Yeah, sure, but
But I mean, the Liberties is over.
Both projects
Both,
are
yeah.
important.
Yeah. But the Liberties is over, run with homeless
Yeah.
projects. And so
Yeah.
they didn't have to close it, but for whatever reason, they closed it anyway. And that was when I retired, actually, but kind of they just kind of happened to meet at that time. I was retiring. And so, but they were great for the people around there.
Gave people confidence in their ability.
Absolutely. And they loved it.
Yeah.
And we put on some great shows, not just me, loads of people.
Yeah.
Loads of people put on great shows. And I wouldn't even remember all of their names, but I'd love to be able to remember all the names and mention in here. But
I can't remember last week, so.
What?
I said, I can't remember last week. Never mind.
He's your brother.
I'm actually brutal with names. I meet people, I go,
Well, no, I didn't do too bad so far, did I?
no, you're doing
I
fine.
didn't forget my name.
You're doing fine. It's only a chat. And you're only being listened to in 29 countries. So
Yeah,
no
I
pressure.
think, is that the place for
No
the
pressure.
homeless there down on Thomas Street?
What?
The new place for the homeless down on Thomas Street. Was it?
No. It's you know where the centre where I worked.
Yeah.
They closed that as the centre. It was a community centre
Where,
all right. Yeah.
where was it located, Bernard?
in the back of St. Nicholas Mara
Francis
Church.
Street,
No, Francis Street.
Oh, yeah.
Corner
The big church
Francis.
down there, on the left-hand side.
So how about,
Where Brendan Grace is.
what do you think, Bernard, about the opening of the Ivy Market? I know you had
Well,
something
they were
to-
opened that 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
I remember you telling me something about it. Yeah.
25 years, but it never happened.
It's happening now.
Yeah, so I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still
What do you think?
They had Lord Ivy and Mr. Smithix,
Yeah.
I think it was, down to open it up or to get it going again or whatever. So that was exciting.
It was actually we did a project on Guinnesses
Yeah.
in the Liberties, and all the Guinness family came to our opening night.
Really, yeah.
That was a real compliment to us,
Definitely.
and compliment to the people who put it on. But
And there was 3 pints of Guinness for everybody.
there was free food, and they gave us bottled Guinness.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah,
That was cool.
yes.
Yeah.
And they did every year. Gave us some bottled Guinness.
Where were we, Ciaran?
They were always good to us.
You drink Smithwick, so
Yeah.
And you didn't have to give blood.
I didn't have to give them.
I remember you used to give blood and you
you
get a
could-
pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if
Oh,
you're looking for money now, might be blood, all right.
and tell me this.
I know. I'll have to say they were very good to us. We put on, we had darts nights and stuff to raise money because we used to go off on days out and all that. But we never always had the money, and they wouldn't give you the money on the project to do that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so
Well, that was, I have to say, fantastic work down there and should be recognised and commended. It was absolutely fantastic.
yeah. But
and,
as I say, it wasn't just one person, but
I know, yeah.
it takes somebody to kick the ball and get it started.
That's right, yeah.
So
And store it.
Well, congratulations on the great work there. We'll make it a free man of the city. How about that?
So, Bernard, what was your, of all the gigs you ever played in your life, what was the most memorable one that you remember the most?
there's lots of.
Which one did it stand out for you? Like, if I was to give you my standout, I'd have to say probably playing the Barrowlands, obviously, be one. But outside of that, just a Catalpa gig, without doing support, I would say probably doing the pre-Ireland matches gigs, like, some of them.
they're great.
When the night that we qualified against Bosnia, that was just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
That was in the big old.
And with a few of them gigs, all right.
Some of the Italian 90s have to be good, I'd say, are they?
What?
The Italian 90s.
Yeah, well, Italia 90 itself, that was 3 weeks of
Mayhem.
heaven.
Madness.
3 weeks of heaven.
Total madness.
It was so good, they wrote a book.
Yeah.
What's the story about that trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were on the same train as me, because I got on that train that got stopped by the Fiat workers on the way up to the Holland game. And
That's right.
I'll never forget it. Like, there was lads going out wanted to beat up the driver and take control of the train and drive.
Oh, I remember hearing that, yeah.
these lads were getting panic, like, it was madness. Like,
And they were all going, meh, meh.
I ended up, what?
And they all rushed.
I got off the train, Bernard, and I went out and I hitched the lift. Myself and 2 other lads from Bleston and Mick and Davy Fleming. And we had rucksacks with us because we're after being down in Sheffield. And we hitched down this guy that was coming out of Palermo. We flagged him down. And he had his family in the car. And we offered him, I know, it was whatever money we offered him. Obviously a lot of money to him. He threw his family out the side of the road. brought us into Palermo. And we got there just as the national anthems were playing. We couldn't bring our rucksacks in, so we just threw them outside the stadium and went into the game, like, and if they were gone, they were gone, like, we didn't.
Yeah.
And did you make kick-off?
We'd make kick-off, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
we
good.
went in. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
when we
rucksacks
got
are still
in-
there when we came out.
It obviously wasn't a Fiat he picked up and...
It was a tiny, honest, I swear to God, it was like a Fiat Panda, or a Fiat 128. Remember the Fiat 128, really small. And we had the rucksacks. The rucksacks were huge because we were gone away for a month, like, so you imagine you got everything on its sleeping bags and everything in a tent. And we all piled into this little, and we were like, go, go, go. your man, I think, hit 2 or 3 cars on the way through.
And the kids and wife are still there.
Well, we had a great laugh. Great stories. It was a great trip, though,
Yeah, that was a fantastic.
You were over there as well, Dad, weren't you? You were in Italy.
I was there, yeah.
You met Phelan over there.
I went over with Matty and the 2 of us went. It was a last-minute decision because we were going to go to Spain. And June, the family went to Spain that year. You didn't go, obviously, but anyhow, I went over. I went on a posh plane, and we stayed in Tarantini.
What's a posh plane?
Yeah, and we stayed in Tarantini, which was like a town outside Palermo, and you couldn't have money in it. You had to have these little beads and buy everything with the beads. You had to buy the beads. But the thing that fascinated me most was it was all like Italian places and everything. All the food was included, but there was a huge big queue at the potato counter, and there was nobody at the spaghetti counter. So I'd have to say it was typical Paddy. We loved the potatoes. Where's the potatoes? I want the potatoes.
Gosh, we probably didn't know what pasta was back then. Like I remember going and eating pasta dishes. So we hadn't a clue. Like, you know, just going over, and we went to this. We were staying in a small little fishing village just outside of Palermo called Sfericavallo, and there was a fish restaurant there, and there was a couple of Dutch lads staying on the campsite with us, like, you know, and so there was about 20 of us went down to this restaurant, you know, and we're all sitting around this huge big table. You know, like they'd have big huge tables for the Italian families, and all this. Like, no one came up near us to order, you know, anything. Just all this fish started coming out, and we started eating it and trying bits and pieces here and there. But the stuff just kept coming out. We were like, so at the end of it, we started flicking octopus and everything at each other and throwing food at each other. But we didn't realise that you had to pay for what you touched. So anything they brought out that you didn't touch, you didn't pay for it. But once you touch food, so we got this massive bill at the end. We were all throwing octopus and everything. But it was very small money because.
Well, do you know what amazed me about that? We were in this square in Tarantini, and they set up a stage there. Myself and Phelan actually sang on the stage. But when you went into the bars were all open, but they were kind of, you picked up what you want, and you went to the counter and you paid for it. But I couldn't believe there was guys all over the place. No, I didn't. It wasn't only 2; it was 4 I got. The honesty of the Irish out there was unbelievable, and I think it was commented like you could have got away with anything over there, but the honesty that I saw really, really impressed me, and the Irish supporters have to be commended on that. It was just unbelievable. No, it wasn't. There wasn't 2. I got 4. 3 got 3, and they were paying up. It was great.
Well, it's the same thing happened in Paestum. That's where we were staying, not far from Salerno, and we were staying, as I say, in Paestum. But the people of Paestum Court, when we went in first, I mean, there were 700 Irish all scattered along the coast near this little town, and the first night that the crowd came in to the hotel we were staying in, that was the central point, and that's where the band would play. That'd be us, and they enjoyed the first night, and the police came around the next day and said, I know you're all on junior side, enjoying yourselves, but the English flag is moved, is gone from the front. That's the only one.
I don't know why.
We don't know why.
I'm sure they knew.
Of course they did. But anyway, it was fun back then. It was a good laugh. Everybody had a good laugh. Yeah. But yes, and there was a great crowd. Every night, or every time you come back from a match, we'd put on a show. Yeah. And they sold so much beer that they put the price down.
Wow.
Oh, that's unusual.
They actually put the price down.
It normally worked the other way. Yeah.
They gave out, the pizzas. He wouldn't, if you sold you the beer and all, you got a pizza thrown on the table.
Yeah.
It worked out fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went first, it was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
They locked up the daughters.
Yeah. They were afraid.
The Italians were like the English supporters.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because at the changeover from France to Italy, they stopped us, and they got news that it was full of supporters who were rioting on the train.
Yeah.
And of course we weren't. We were all fast asleep. And they got on with the dogs and everything else. Yeah. But it was, as I say, we were fast asleep. But the
They're
place...
they're the greatest supporters in the world. There's no doubt about
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
So look out for that
Book.
little book. It's only a little bit about us. They called us Paddy Nightmare by the end of the trip. It's because they hung over every day.
And did you play every night?
What?
How many nights did you play out of 3 weeks?
Yeah, we played outdoors as well.
Yeah.
After every match, first of all,
Yeah.
and then one or two dotted where we felt it was needed.
That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Little square,
Yeah.
and it got so they had football matches between the locals,
Yeah.
and it became a whole like
Yeah.
Culture swap.
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, that was fantastic. But it got so competitive in the football that one fella broke his leg and that was it.
Jesus.
And they had to give it.
Well, the thing is, will we ever see that crack again?
No.
It's
like-
great times.
Not the way Ireland are playing at the
No.
moment.
The team have to do their part.
I think I'll have to tug out myself.
Neil, what was your first away trip?
2012 was it? Which was Poland.
Oh, 2000 and... No,
Well, I mean, I went to a few away games. I was at the
Yeah,
Jack Carter's
2012,
last game,
yeah.
which was 1988, was it? Against Holland and Liverpool.
Oh no, that was 1988. No, Ciaran was there till 90.
I don't know.
It was 96.
96, was it?
Yeah.
That was my first away game,
Game.
but we didn't stay overnight or anything. We
Yeah.
went over on the ferry and came back that
Yeah.
day.
Well, still there.
Yeah, it was still a away game, yeah. That was the first one, but then the first tournament was 2012.
Well, that's what you get. That's what you get for being younger than us.
I know, yeah.
I know, it's just, I'm hearing all these stories about
Well, you
Italia
have a
90.
few more to go, but I don't have many we're left.
Well, I think I might be waiting. But no, I was doing my leaving cert when you were all in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Italy was
Could be
great.
worse.
That's why I didn't do well.
Italy, I went to Italy on a Interrail ticket.
Yeah.
Well, back to the future, Bernard.
Back to the future.
What's your musical future now?
My musical future, I'll still play as long as I can.
Yeah.
And as I said, we were doing that gig for the language schools, but it finished only just before the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I
Public
never
school
got
English,
back to it, so we don't know.
So everyone's locked down now. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
so-
Yeah.
And for people
That's-
that want to hear your music, Paddy's Dream, because a lot of younger listeners wouldn't have heard or known about Paddy's Dream. You're on Spotify.
Yeah, on Spotify,
And
and that's why you have to send us €100. No, you don't.
So the album on Spotify is called what's it called? Folk Songs of Ireland, is it?
Yeah, Folk Songs of Ireland,
Yeah,
and
by Paddy's Dream.
yeah, Paddy's Dream.
And some great tunes on it. You recorded that up in Belfast, was it?
Yeah, we recorded at Outlet. I think it was Outlet Records, or no, Homespun Records in the middle of Belfast.
Yeah.
When the Troubles were there
Yeah.
in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're
The
right.
bullets are flying.
Right.
The windows were closed.
And did you stay up there in Belfast?
Did
you do it over a couple
we
of days?
played it. What?
Did you
No, we
record?
didn't play up there. We went up to a hotel,
Yeah.
stayed in the hotel, went down to the studio in the morning,
Yeah.
came back from there, back to the hotel, and drinking pints all night.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And you finished it in one
That
day, did
was
you?
hard. That was really tough.
Did you do it all in one day? Get it recorded all
Oh,
in one day?
no, it took a week.
Oh, a week. Yeah. Because it's good.
It took us a week to do
To be
it.
sure,
and,
to be sure.
Yeah, it was
Some great tracks on it.
yeah, we were stopped by the British Army twice going in,
Yeah.
but obviously our driver knew.
And they
And
threw
he
yous
said,
out.
these lads are making a record in the studio, so that was it. Never had any trouble.
Yeah.
It's called the Rifles of the RNA. What?
Okay, well, we are getting near 50 minutes. This is where we normally sign off, and we're going to play out with two of Paddy's dream songs, the Boys of Barr and Sraide, and the Rambling Corkman.
Corkman's Ramble.
Corkman's Ramble.
Do the Boys first and then finish off with a quick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Corkman's Ramble.
Corkman Rambles is a great song.
Is that one of your own? Or
Yeah, finish off with that.
Yeah. Is that
No,
one?
well, actually, Frank wrote the Corkman's Rambles. I mean, we could have arranged it together and things like that. But
it's a Paddy's dream song.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
And the Boys of Barr and Sraide is just full of my favourite songs. And
It's a great song.
It's you singing it, isn't it?
I sing it.
Yeah, you sing very well. I
So
was listening to it earlier on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope I've done it justice.
Well, lovely to have you, Bernard, on the show, and it's been a pleasure. And of course, your great son there, Neil Warfield.
Thank you.
Another generation, and my own son, Ciaran, and I have to say we enjoyed the conversation, didn't we, Ciaran?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Just to say, and you've been vaccinated, Bernard. You had your 2 vaccinations, as does.
We're all vaccinated, yeah,
So-
yeah.
Oh yes, we're all
bulletproof.
vaccinated.
Yeah, at this stage, I hope.
I'm still keeping my distance.
Yeah, no, yeah. Just to say that you are well over 2 meters away from me, and Neil is at least 3 or 4 meters away from me.
It's perspective. I'm just small.
Okay, so we sign off with 2 songs by Paddy's Dream. And thanks again for listening, and keep an eye out on Facebook and Instagram for the next episode, which will be the last episode in the Foggy Dew album.
Yeah.
So are we going to keep going, Dad? People are asking us.
Well, we see.
So this will be the last one, which is Roisin Dove, the song Roisin Dove.
Great song.
Yeah. So tune in next week. Thanks to Neil and thanks to Uncle Bernard, and great
Thanks,
to see you.
Ciaran. Thanks,
You're
Brian.
both looking super.
Great.
Thanks for having us on.
Enjoyed it.
Okay, so take care.
Brilliant.
Slán.
Bye. Bye.
The town that climbs the mountain and looks down to the sea. A waking time or sleeping, it's there I long to be. To walk again the kindly streets where I grew from boy to man, with the boys of Barr and Sraide who hunted for the ram. With cudgels stout we roamed about to hunt a gate rolling. We searched for birds neath every furze from Leiter to Dunedin. We jumped for joy beneath the sky. Life held no threat or plan. And the boys from Barr and Sraide, we hunted for the ram. And when the hills were bleeding, when rifles were aflame, to the rebel homes of Kerry the Saxon stranger came. The boys who dared and the Axes fled, who fought the blackened hands, were once the boys of Varna who hunted for the ram. But now they toil on foreign soil, where they have gone their way. Deep in the heart of London, or over in Broadway. And I am left to sing their deeds and praises while I can all the boys of Barr and Sraide who hunted for the ram. And when my wheel of life runs out and death comes over me, just lay me down in that old town between those hills and sea. I'll take my peace amongst those green fields where I grew from boy to man, with the boys from Barr and Sraide who hunted for the ram.
When spring has hatched from icy winter shell and birds start singing songs of love, then it's time to journey homeward bound, and I'll find someone to make me settle down. I am a lonely man, I'm tired of rambling. No more a vagabond I'm gonna be. I'm tired of single life, I'll find someone to be my wife and settle in Cork City by the Lee. A rambling rover I have been, my feet trip gaily upon the country road. Sang my song and banjo I did play, a well-known figure of no fixed abode. I'm a lonely man, I'm tired of rambling. No more a vagabond I'm gonna be. I'm tired of single life, I'll find someone to be my wife and settle in Cork City by the Lee. I've had my share of gaiety and fame, false-hearted girls who all have let me down. So I'll go back to the county that I love, good old Cork City, that town of great renown. I am a lonely man, I'm tired of rambling. No more a vagabond I'm gonna be. I'm tired of single life, I'll find someone to be my wife and settle in Cork City by the Lee. I'm tired of single life, I'll find someone to be my wife and settle in Cork City by the Lee.